SEO is complicated, and it's nearly impossible for me to give you everything you need to know to succeed in this Foundations course. However, I want to walk you through a few important SEO audit steps in a very short time frame. This way, you'll know where to start and you'll get a good idea of what's involved. From here, you can check out more courses on the topic and expand your SEO skills. Now, we're going to move fairly quickly, so if you feel lost, feel free to pause or rewind. So let's talk about what our plan is. The goal of our SEO audit is to identify three main elements: how we're doing technically, how we're doing with our content, and how we're doing with our exposure on the web. For this example, we're going to be using the site explorecalifornia.org to perform our audit. So the first thing that I do is I open up the site and I simply take a quick glance at what's going on. I want to make sure the site loads and get a sense of how you navigate the site, what the content is about, and what the key information on the site is. In this case, I'm going to assume that Explore California is primarily trying to drive SEO traffic to individual tours pages. In that case, I could select any of these various options to learn more about each page. The other thing I want to do is identify any content that isn't text. So here I can see the headline is text, but this Find Your Tour button is actually an image. Therefore, Find Your Tour is not text that Google is seeing. If this was an important piece of SEO content, I might want to resolve that. I'll also open this up on my mobile device and identify how it looks and works on my mobile phone. Because SEO is primarily mobile these days, that is an important step as well. The next thing I like to do is identify what Google sees about this site. So I'll go to google.com and I'll run a query for site, and then my domain name. And there is no space between the colon and the domain name. If you put the www or not, it doesn't matter. But if you leave the www off, it may reveal some interesting insights. So right away, I can see that Google has indexed some content. There's about 12 results. And the first page looks good. It's my homepage. But now you'll notice that there's some strange things that Google has picked up. You'll see that they have services.explorecalifornia.org, and the headline is index of. And this suggests that this is content that I don't want on Google. I may also see PDFs or private data that I didn't intend for Google to find that they did find. So you always want to start by exploring these results. Now, seeing things like this suggests to me that we aren't doing a good job of telling Google what not to crawl. So from there, I need to inspect the site. I've gone ahead and opened up a tours page, and the first thing that I'll do is look around the page. I want to identify if all the main elements are in place. I need to understand if the content that I'm seeing in the Google index is being misinterpreted from this page. First thing I like to do is look at the headlines. These tend to be our primary keywords. In this case, I have one at the top, Our Tours, followed by another headline labeled Backpack California. Now, using Chrome on a Mac, I choose to right-click and then select Inspect, and here I can see that our heading 1 tag is Our Tours. If I right-click on Backpack Cali and choose Inspect, I see too that that is a heading 1 tag. Now, there shouldn't be two heading 1 tags. That's a red flag. And I also need to understand if this heading 1 tag is really a good keyword. Maybe there's something better that I should be doing here. Maybe this keyword should really be Backpack California. If I've done my research, I'd know what I need to put in my heading 1. Now, we also saw some content that was indexed that shouldn't be there. So I'll next check our robots.txt file. I simply put /robots.txt at the end of the URL, and here I can see that we don't have one of these files. And that's problematic. A robots.txt file tells Google and other crawlers what to do. We don't want the crawler wasting time browsing sections of our site that don't need to be indexed. So we need to disallow those sections here. Next, I want to look for sitemap.xml. I do that in the same way that I look for robots.txt. Here we can see that we don't have a sitemap here. Another red flag. A sitemap helps Google navigate all the sections of your site. It's an important component, and the fact that we don't have it here is not a good sign. So I'd make note that we need to create one. To show you what these look like, I've gone ahead and pulled up lynda.com's robots.txt file. You can see that they don't want Google crawling a ton of sections. I've also opened up their sitemap. Now in this case, they use a sitemap index. This tells Google that they have many sitemaps and they exist at many locations, listed here. I'll select into one of those sitemaps to show you what this should look like. Here we can see all the information that Linda is telling Google about every page on its website. This includes video sitemaps, indicating this is a particular website with a particular video. Here's the thumbnail in the video, the title, and so on. Next, we need to dive into the technical considerations. I start by running a mobile-friendly speed test, and I'll provide the URLs to each of these on the screen for you. What we do is we enter in our URL, and Google's going to tell us whether our page is mobile-friendly or not. Now, you'll notice something interesting. Google says the page is mobile-friendly, but the preview they show on the right-hand side doesn't look that friendly to me. Clearly, there's a problem here. You'll notice that there is a warning at the top of the page. Google says, I had some issues loading this page. If I select View Details, Google's going to tell me all about what's broken. It says it couldn't load these page resources, and these would be areas that we'd want to investigate. Next, I like to run a Page Speed Insights. You'll find that this will help you understand what you need to optimize to score better in Google. Typically, a score above 75 is going to be okay. Anything below that, and you really need to follow the instructions that Google's provided. Here we can see that mobile has an exclamation point, and this means we have a problem. You can see the score is low, and Google's going to tell you all of the things that need to be fixed. Here I can click Show How to Fix, and Google's going to tell me exactly what I need to do to score better. Google will also link you to their help docs, which will help you understand how to solve these problems. The top I can toggle into desktop, and as we saw earlier, we see a preview. We want to make sure that that looks right to us, and we can also view the suggestions for desktop. From here, we'd pop into the Google Search Console and review all the errors there. Now, we took a look at Search Console earlier, so I'll skip over this. From there, I like to look for structured data. Structured data helps Google understand what's on your site. Now, if you're not using structured data, that's not necessarily a problem, but there is a lot of benefit in SEO to using it. Here, we can see that Google has not detected anything. This indicates that I might want to add structured data to help improve my SEO. To show you what it looks like when there is information, I went ahead and ran this search on a New York Times article. Here on the right-hand side, we can see that New York Times has identified that there's a news article on this page, and they've given Google all kinds of helpful insights. They're telling Google what the headline is, the description, the genre, where the article section is, and so on. Anything in red indicates a problem that you'd want to look at and resolve. Now, finally, we need to look at our actual crawl. And this is where I'll use a tool called Screaming Frog SEO Spider. This is a really powerful tool, and you can download it for free, although the free version only has limited functions. They do have a premium option, and it's worth every penny. To get it, you'll simply select Download from the SEO Spider dropdown. I've already downloaded the tool, so I'll go ahead and open it. What this tool does is crawls your website in the same manner that Google would, and it helps you identify problems. I've simply added our URL in the top and selected Start, and now you'll see an outcome of our results. This is bringing in every page and image, and it's been tested. It lets us know what the type of content is, in this case HTML, an image, CSS, a video. And here we can see the status. And you really want to see the number 200. That means everything's okay. A 404 means there's a problem. And that means that I linked from somewhere on my site to somewhere else on my site, and the page that I linked to doesn't exist. And that's a big red flag to Google, because it means that you're not totally sure what's happening on your own site. So if I select into a 404, you'll notice at the bottom we get helpful insights. We can choose the in links. We can see all the pages that this is being linked from, and the outlinks if we were linking out from this page. Now, there are no outlinks on a 404 page because it doesn't exist. But using the in link section, I can identify all of the pages that are linking out to this broken link, and I could go ahead and remove that or resolve it. What's also helpful is you can explore the content. At the tabs at the top, I can look at the page titles for every page. And this helps us because we know that we don't want duplicate page titles. And so we see the same page title over and over. And that would help me understand which pages I needed to resolve. Same thing with the meta description. We can see if the meta description is custom for each individual page. You can also check the length, as well as the pixel length, to understand if it's too long. You'll notice here on the right-hand side, this tool helps you understand where things need help. So I can click to duplicate, and it's going to show me all the duplicate meta descriptions. If there are some that are too short, I can select that option. If there are some that are too long, it would let me know here. We also have the ability to select into our heading 1 tags. And again, we can immediately identify that these aren't the right heading 1 tags. Therefore, I have a problem. I need to fix those. As you can see, this crawler is incredibly powerful, and there's a lot that you can do here. So take a few minutes and run through this quick SEO audit to see if you can find any issues that jump out at you. You'd be surprised at what a few tweaks can do to greatly improve your traffic.